These are super cute. This is my favorite, hands down, the most used eyeshadow. This is why I love this combo. Absolute game changer. Hello and welcome back to a new video. Happy 2025. As you've seen in the title of the video, we are going to be getting ready using my most used products of 2024. And the reason I've done most used instead of favorites is because I have lots of favorites and it was really hard to choose, so I've just gone with the most used. If you want to see a variety of my favorite products from different categories like skincare and makeup, then let me know and I can do separate videos on them as well. Now, I also want to put a disclaimer for this video saying that a lot of the products that I'm using and showing you are gifted. I am incredibly lucky with the job that I do working in beauty and fashion that I do get stuff sent to me, and I do love trying new products. So a lot of my favorites have been products that I have tried from brands sending me things, from makeup artists using it on me and me purchasing it and things like that. So disclaimer for the video, there are things in here that are gifted. However, all of the opinions and things that I will talk about in this video are my own opinion, and none of these brands have paid me to make this video. I am just doing it because these are the products that I genuinely use and love. I don't stick to the same product all year round. I tend to try lots of different things, and depending on the season I'll kind of chop and change things out of my routine. So these are the products that I keep coming back to and the ones that I genuinely love and use almost every single day. And we're going to start with skincare as always. But before we do, I want to say a huge thank you to you guys who have subscribed to my channel, because we hit 100k subscribers, which is absolutely insane given that I only really started posting on YouTube in like October, November. It's just blown up since then. I have ordered my 100k plaque and it's going to be coming soon, so I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, I want to say a huge thank you to you guys who support me and watch the videos and have subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you do down below. We've got some exciting stuff coming for you in 2025. I will be streaming Animal Crossing because I love playing Animal Crossing, but also beauty and fashion stuff, and we'll be posting a video every Sunday as always. So yeah, lots of stuff coming. I hope you join along on the journey and enjoy. Now, 2024 was a very stressful year for me. It was a year where from the first week of January, we were organizing the house, we were cleaning, we were getting ready to sell the house we were living in and then move into this house, and then we renovated. So there was just a lot of packing, a lot of like putting all my stuff in boxes. So I only had a very small section of my stuff that was really accessible to me, and I actually discovered some new products in 2024. So one of my first ones is cleanser. I usually cleanse my face in the shower, and these have been my absolute favorite. These are all empty, unfortunately. This is the TBH Skincare Acne Hack Antibacterial Cleanser, and I've gone through two of them already, and this is the TBH Skincare Hydrating Makeup Removing Jelly Cleanser, and I've loved these two together. This one's been really good for when my skin was just not very happy and there was always dust around when we moved into this house, and yeah, I've heard people rave about these. So when I moved into this house and didn't have any cleansers with me, I went and purchased this and I've been loving it ever since. But like I said, those ones are over, so then I moved on to these ones. This is the Cosmetic 27 Cleanser 27, and I've been really liking this to take makeup off. And this is the Essano Skin Happy Skin Clean Canvas Jelly Cleanser, and I probably like this one over the two, but I use this to take makeup off. But this one I've been really enjoying recently. I feel like it's made my skin sort of feel kind of plump, and it does say happy, healthy, bouncy glow, which I do feel like my skin has had. So that is what I used in the shower today. And then moving on to moisturizers, which is what I use most of the time. They're these ones. They're also empty. The start of this video is starting off with a lot of empties. These are the Weleda Skin Food. These are the normal skin food, and this is the light skin food, which I've been loving recently. And this is my trusty Embryolisse Lait-Crème Concentrate, which I've gone through so many of these that I just went and purchased the big bottle of it. This is the fluid, but it's basically the same thing, and I've been loving this, and I think I'm like probably like halfway almost, or almost halfway through the bottle, and I've had this for a while. So this is a staple. It lives on my vanity and I absolutely love it. Also, I do have a whole box of like empty products that I've been saving up. So if you want to see things that I've finished and get my honest opinion on any of these products, let me know and I'll do a full separate video on all my empties, because I feel like that's something interesting that I always loved watching people talk about, because you get to know a product once you've finished it and once you've really spent the time using it. But for skincare today, I'm going to be starting with these. This is the Avène Cicalfate Plus Skin Repair Serum for dry and damaged sensitive skin. This, I've pretty much like almost finished it, but this is what I've been really enjoying recently. I feel like it just helps reset my skin. And I get perioral dermatitis, which is when I use too many active ingredients on my skin sort of flares up and gets a bit angry. And I feel like a lot of people will probably have that issue. So whenever I need to give my skin a reset, I kind of go with that. And honestly, I feel like that's sort of what I've been sticking with most days. This is the Shiseido, I still don't know how to pronounce that, Ultimune Power Infusing Concentrate 3. I've also still been loving this. Those are my two serums of choice, and my skin is looking pretty good today. I do have like a couple of like little breakouts, and I do get them time to time. I feel like we all kind of do, whether it's what you eat or your hormones or you just have spotty skin. Sometimes that just is what your skin does, and that's okay. But the times where I do want to combat those spots, this is what I've been using. These are the TBH Skincare patches. This probably has been a new favorite of 2024. This is the Cica Micro Dart Pimple Patches, and they've got little like needle-like micro darts that sort of push into your skin. And I was really scared of using these at first because I don't really like needles, but it's actually okay. It's like a little sort of pinch, but they've been really good for the spots that sort of just live under the skin and haven't really surfaced yet. And then the next day I go in with one of these, and these are just their patch it up pimple patches. These are really good for if the skin on top has sort of broken through, and it really just draws out all the impurities pretty much overnight, which is so amazing. So they have been my go-to to keep my spots at bay, but that doesn't mean that I don't have redness and little other spots on my face. Now I'm gonna see if I can squeeze out a little bit more of this Weleda Skin Food Light. I've been really enjoying this both day and night, and I really can't get any more out of this, and I've been really trying to use up like everything that's left in the tube. I got some. All right, let's use that. Now I could go on and on about skincare because that is what I pretty much live in at 24/7. I always do my skincare morning and night, and I do it every day. And most days I don't really wear makeup, I just live in my skincare. So I do have quite a lot of skincare favorites. So I feel like I could make a whole separate video on it, but I'm gonna try and keep this a bit more concise. But there's just so many other products I want to show you. This is another Weleda product. This is the Skin Food Nourishing Night Cream. This is what I've been using recently at night. While we're on night skincare, I've also been loving these. This is the L'Occitane Reset Night Serum. It's basically over, like I can't get any more of the product out. And this is a new product in 2024. This is the Glow Botanical Face Oil. It's a light blend of 12 oils, and it feels so nice on the skin. I'm only going to add a little bit because it is daytime. Now I love wearing that when I'm not wearing makeup, and sometimes I will put like a few drops underneath, which is what I've done today. I don't really know how well it sits under makeup, but I've put it on now, so we're going to go with it. Okay, moving on to SPF. This has been my favorite for 2024. This is the Clear Skincare Hydrating Sunscreen Lotion, and it has SPF 50+, and it just feels so nice on the skin. It doesn't feel like an SPF. It just feels like a moisturizer that's hydrating, and the sunscreen sort of dries down matte, but not too matte. And I feel like I don't really find other sunscreens that do that, but this is over. I've literally used every drop in this tube that I possibly can, so that is another empty. And since then I've been using this one, which is the Avène Sun Sensitive Sunscreen Serum SPF 50+. Now this one is a little bit more like a traditional... Alright, I can't get any more out of the tube. I must be running low. This is a bit more like a traditional sunscreen, but it is super light on the skin. And again, it doesn't really feel like SPF, which is what I always tend to go for. But this one does give you a really lovely glow, which I do like in a sunscreen as well. But sometimes when I'm not wearing makeup, I prefer to have something matte, but when I am wearing makeup, that's when I like a glowy sunscreen. So either way, I have been really enjoying this one, and this probably is my most used one, second to that. And don't forget to wear your SPF all year round, even in winter. Lastly, for skincare is also 2 empty products. This is the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Strengthening Lip Oil. This is in the shade Melon Treat, and it does smell like watermelon, which I absolutely love. And I've discovered this year, well, last year, that watermelon flavored lip products are my favorite. I've used up all of this when we moved house, and I was so sad because I didn't have my other lip products accessible. So I just had to use the same one of this in the cherry scent, and I didn't really enjoy it as much as this one. Obviously the lip oil is the same, but scent wise I definitely enjoyed this one more. And the other one is also an empty. This is the Fenty Skin Plush Pudding Intensive Recovery Lip Mask, and this is my go-to for bedtime. They do have a melon scented one, so this is what I've been using recently. Oh, it just smells so good. This one actually has, you can see like the yellow tint, that's all of the like gold glitter, and you can't really feel the glitter or see it, so I do really like it. That has been my go-to and most used for 2024. I will also just pop these in because these are a December find, and I've been loving them since. I think if I had discovered these in January, I think they would be over by now. But this one in particular is the melon scented one, or the watermelon one. I think it's called Watermelon Sugar. These are the Jisoo honey infused lip oils. Oh, it just smells so good. So yeah, these 2 have been my most used at the moment. And if you haven't worked out, I love a lip oil or a lip mask. I love hydrated lips because I've always had dry lips and I've always struggled to keep my lips hydrated. So using some of these products have been so good. Okay, I think that is skincare done. I feel like I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to swiftly move on, and I'll make a separate video on skincare another day. So moving on to makeup, this is the Bare Minerals Prime Time Redness Reducing Primer, and I have been loving it. This is what I've been reaching for recently, and it's because it's just green. And green color corrects redness, if you didn't know, and my lighter skin has no pigment in it, so a lot of the redness shows through. It actually doesn't look too bad today, but I can see little bits of sort of redness and unevenness. And my goal with makeup, especially base makeup, is just to even my skin tone and not cover up my vitiligo. So something like this is really great as a base. Got some of my eyelashes. This is really great as a base to not only use as a primer, but to also just help even out my skin tone so I can feel a little bit more confident, although I do love my skin as it is. But if I'm wearing makeup, I do like to put this on underneath. Now, when it comes to complexion products, these have to be my most used products. These are the L'Oreal Plumping Tinted Serum, and I absolutely love them. As you can see, the bottle is starting to run low, but there's still plenty of product in these, especially because I use such a small amount for both shades of my face. But what I also have been reaching for recently, especially in summer, are these. These are the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint Sticks. And this is what I've actually been loving using underneath that skin tint. So I'll put these on first because these are super sheer. They're such a glowy product and it just looks so good. So I'm just gonna blend that out just on my lighter skin, and I pretty much just use it as like a glowy underlayer. And if I was just to be doing a really light sheer makeup, then I'd probably just leave it here. But I like to add a few other products in as well, so I'm going to show you them. I'm also doing a photo shoot because Ryan and I have been featured in an article, so I am going to apply a little bit more makeup than I probably would for like an everyday look. Makeup tends to get lost in photos when you're professionally photographed, so I will apply a little bit more than usual. But if you're looking for something like the Charlotte Tilbury skin tint that isn't as expensive, then these are definitely up there. These are the L'Oreal Lumi Glotions. I've only recently been using them since December, and I've actually really been enjoying them, but these have been what I've reached for the most. But I just thought I'd mention it in case you wanted a more affordable option. And then I go in with the L'Oreal Skin Tint, and obviously the Glotion and the Skin Tint will go really well together. I've just had the Charlotte Tilbury ones for longer, which is why I've reached for them more. So I've just added a little bit more there. And what I really like about this particular skin tint is that it has enough pigment that it does give you a little bit of coverage, but it's not super heavy. And it does make it look like real skin. So now that that's blended out, I'm going to go in with the darker shade of the Charlotte Tilbury. And I love that it's actually darker than my skin tone, because when I blend it out, it just blends in so nicely. A lot of other skin tints are a bit too light for my darker skin, which makes them look a bit weird, versus this one actually just gives me a really nice glow while still keeping the colour in my skin. And I think that's why I've sort of been reaching for this one more, because I just love how much pigment there is in these. I just love the colour of this darker skin tint. I actually reckon these two, so the darker skin tint of the Charlotte Tilbury and the lighter one of the L'Oreal, are probably like my perfect two match. Because I find the lighter Charlotte Tilbury a bit too sheer for my lighter skin, and the darker of the L'Oreal too light for my darker skin. So yeah, I think I should just start using these two together instead. Now when it comes to concealer, this has to be my favourite one of 2024. This is the Home Beauty Flex Concealer, and I've got it in my darker shade, my lighter shade, and a brightening shade. And this has just been my go-to. I also used this on one of my friends when I did her wedding makeup look for her, because she was attending a wedding. And this was the concealer that I chose because she had fine lines underneath. That was really nice. I'm just going to blend it out in just the areas that I want to cover some more redness, or I just want a bit of extra coverage. And like I said, I'm doing a bit of a heavier look today than I usually would. But yeah, that is pretty much it for that. And if you've seen how I do my makeup with vitiligo, you'll know that I always go in with both my brushes back and forth to clean up those lines and sort of just blend them out. And this is how I keep my makeup really quick. Otherwise I could sit here for ages trying to like fine line paint my face. Now I'm going to add a bit of this. And as you can see, it is a bit lighter than my skin tone, but it does blend out sheer. Okay, that is base done. Now we move on to probably my favorite part of makeup, which is blush and contour. If you have seen any of my makeup videos, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or here on YouTube, you should know that this is my favorite contour. And I can say that because it's also my absolute most used contour. I don't think I've used a product more than I have this. This is the Fenty Beauty Matchstick Contour Stick in the shade Espresso, and this is what I use to contour my face. I kind of do it in like a little C or like a little S, and then I also just put a little bit on my cheekbones. What I've loved is to use this particular brush. It's a foundation brush that's quite tapered and quite dense. It is the Expert Edge Foundation Brush by Real Techniques. But the reason that I like that it's dense and concentrated is so that I can really focus my contour in. Rather than just blending it out, I can really just drag it sort of into the areas that I want to contour. So it just makes it so much easier to shape your face. And that's basically what I do. I just use the excess of blending this out to just do the top of my head. And I kind of do it like this, a bit of kind of into a triangle because I have a very round face. And then I'll use the excess again of the brush to do my nose, and I add it to the outer corner of my eye as well. And like you can see the difference of that contour versus like this side. And I think it also just adds color back to my face. It helps me blend both my skin tones together, and it gives me that sort of polished look that I'm after when I'm wearing makeup. So I'm going to do the same to this side. Makeup really is just a personal experience, and it's all about doing it the way that you like to see your face. I think there is no right and wrong way. There's just different techniques, and these are just the techniques that I've picked up from watching other people on Instagram and Instagram and TikTok, as well as makeup artists that I've seen both online and ones that I've worked with. And then it's just trial and error, like working out the way that you like to wear your makeup and the way that where you want to put the product. So if you're kind of struggling with your face, I would recommend just having a look at different tips and trying them and just seeing whether you like them or not. If you don't like them, you don't have to do them again, but if you do like them, then it's a new way to learn tips. And then I go back in with my lighter foundation brush to just blend out that top. And that is my contour slash bronzer. So for blush, these two have probably been my most used. This is the Too Faced Crowd Crush Blurring Blush. I actually said that the first time round. And this is the Rare Beauty Illuminating Powder Blush, I think it is. This is the shade Love, and this is the shade Head in the Clouds. This is probably my most used blush, and then I kind of use this sort of on top. I kind of grown out of using this one. It can be very pigmented, so if I'm not going for a very heavy look, then this one probably isn't the best, but this one I feel like I can build a lot easier. I love using an angled brush. This is, I think, one just from Sports Girl, and I put my blush right on like the top corners of my cheek. Again, when it comes to placement, trying different things for different face shapes can really help you work out how and where you want to put your blush. And as much as I try and keep it up here, I always end up in the apples of my cheek. And then again, I use the excess of that on my eyes. That's been like the best way to do really quick and easy eyeshadow, and it also just all blends into your face because they're the same color as what you've already used on your cheeks. So yeah, that has been my favorite. I am going to add a little bit of this just to the very tops, and you can see that is so much more pigmented just from like the tiniest little tab. It is great for my dark skin though, versus on my lighter skin it can be a little much. And I'm pretty sure I have blush blindness. If you don't think I do, please let me know. I very much think that I do, but I love it because this is what brightens my face and adds color to my face. Then I always move on to eyebrows next. I don't know why I don't do highlighter straight after. I always leave that to the end and I go straight in with my eyebrows. This is the IT Cosmetics brow powder, and I've got 2 of them now, and this has definitely been my most used brow product. Sometimes even when I don't have makeup on, I like to sometimes fill in my brows with this, just so that they look a little bit fuller. And the way I do it is just by brushing through my brows, and then I use the pencil side to just sharpen all the lines and fill in any of the gaps. And then I go back to the brush side and try and like feather it out pretty much. That way they don't look drawn on, they look a bit more natural and full. And when I clean the edge, I always end up with like a foundation line. So I just use my foundation brush to just blend that out again. And there you go. It's one brow done. Now, while I do my other brow, I would love to know what your most used 2024 makeup products and skincare products have been. And let me know whether they are like your absolute favorites, or is it just something you've been reaching for a lot. Okay, that is second brow done. Then I move on to eyeshadow, and this is hands down my most used eyeshadow palette. This is the Polite Society Forget Social Media, I'm Dope in Real Life. It's actually called the Polite Principle eyeshadow palette, but I love the quote on the front. And I love the neon colour. And ever since I've gotten this, I have used it for lots of different looks. My go-to is obviously the blush and the bronzer on my eyes already, and then I just dip into this like second darker shade, tap off the excess, and then I just concentrate that in the outer corner of my eye. And that's pretty much it for eyes, because I don't really do much more in terms of eyeshadow. I kind of just use that in the crease of my eye. I also really love this really light shade. If I didn't have the blush and bronzer on already, this is what I would go in with. And this is what I had been doing before I discovered I can just put my blush and bronzer on with the excess of my brush, which was just so much easier. So yeah, this is pretty much it for my eye look. I do also want to make a note of this palette. This is the Kylie Cosmetic Wet Shimmer Quad, because this had to be one of my most used palettes in December, particularly because they're all just such shimmery, beautiful eyeshadows. And so I would do this shadow, and then I would just choose one of these shades and just sort of like sweep it on top. And it just created the perfect holiday shimmery eyeshadow. So that was also one of my most used, but I'm not going to use it today because I don't want to go with a shimmery eye. Try and think of what else I want to go in with next. But I feel like my next step is just usually mascara, so I guess I'm just going to do that. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself today. I feel like there's so many things I want to show you, but this video is just going to be so long if I do that. So I'm like really trying to be concise. But there's so many other products that I want to show you. So I might have to do a parted series on Instagram and TikTok showing you some other favorite products of mine that I have loved but maybe haven't reached for as much this year. Although having said that, these two are probably my most reached for mascaras in 2024, as well as this one, which is the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick. But I momentarily lost this and I couldn't find it anywhere, so these two have been what I'd reached for the most. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Foreplay Mascara Primer, and you may have heard me say this in a previous video, but when I first discovered this, I was like, I don't need a mascara primer. Like, I'll just do multiple coats of mascara. But no, I was very wrong. I love this now. And the reason that I love it is because it just holds my lashes up after I've curled them. I do have very long lashes, but they do tend to grow outwards. So when I curl my lashes, I find that some mascaras will weigh down my lashes straight away and they will just start to drop almost immediately, versus this one really just holds them up and helps them hold that curl. It also just helps me get more voluminous lashes. Like I said, I've got long lashes, but I am always trying to voluminize them because I love a big lash look. I definitely have fur somewhere here. Just always covered in animal fur. Having 2 golden retrievers and 2 cats, all of which shed in summer, is a lot of hair, including my own, because I also lose a lot of hair. But yeah, that is one side done. I'm actually just going to do one side and show you the difference. And then I go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. This is just the original one, and I love this again. This was my first non-chemist mascara that I ever used, and I have loved it ever since. I've been using it for what, like 8 years, I think? Not the same tube, but I've been using it since 8 years ago. And I just feel like that just adds the drama that it needs after the primer. And I do love clumpy lashes, so that is my perfect lashes. So that is uncurled, no mascara, and this is curled primer and 1 coat of mascara. Look how good it is. I do find that it also helps hold better with the primer. However, my only downside of this primer, and I did say that this video is not sponsored by anyone, these were gifted, but I'm going to tell you my honest opinion, which is that these are so hard to take off. Particularly the primer. The mascara on its own isn't as hard to take off, but doesn't hold the curl as well on my lashes. But as much as I love this, I just know that when I use it, it's just going to be a struggle to take off that night. And no matter what cleanser I use, I've been trying to use balm cleansers with this, but it just is so hard. I need to get a really good oil cleanser to take it off, and any of my other like normal cleansers just are no match for this. So this is really good. However, make sure that you have a really good makeup removing, waterproof makeup removing cleanser, because this stays on for so long. Alright, I'm gonna do one more coat of mascara. They're very thin coats, but that is my lashes, and this is why I love this combo so much. Alright, I'm gonna do my other lash and then I'll be back. Okay, that is mascara done. I am so hot. It is 30 degrees again. I feel like that's all I've been saying in my last few videos, is that it's just 30 degrees, but summer is summering here in Melbourne, which doesn't usually happen, so I am very hot. Oh, actually, got sent a PR package today from Mecca for the Australian Open, and it came with this beautiful fan, so I'm going to use that. Oh, it feels so nice. Okay, now that I've cooled down a little bit, let's move on to lips. I'm going to take my lip balm off, because 2024 has been my year of lip liners. And the one I want to use is in this bag because I took it out with me yesterday and now I've lost it in the bag. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Foxy Brown, and it has been my go-to because as well as it being the year of lip liners, it's also been the year of brown lips. I'm going to put this on and then I'll be back. Now, I've had brown lips done on me before and I've liked it, but I just never thought it was something that I would reach for. I've always gone towards the nudes, or occasionally I'll like throw in a red, but a brown lip liner has been my absolute go-to, and no matter what color I use on my lips, I love lining my lips with this. Now, because I'm Sri Lankan and my natural skin color is the darker tone, my lips are meant to be brown, but I've lost all of my pigment in it due to my vitiligo, so I don't have brown lips anymore. And in 2024 I discovered brown lip liner sort of gives me that like brown edging of my lips, which just almost brings back a little bit of my identity. And if you're a person of color, you might understand that, because your lips and your nails and things like that, like they look very different when you put nail polish on or when you put lipstick on. Because you already have that brown underlayer, it looks and feels very different. So adding this has just been so good, because not only do I love the color that it gives me, but also when I incorporate it with something else, it just, don't know, it feels a bit more like me. I think it makes the brown girl inside me very happy. So that has been definitely my most reach for lip liner. And what I've been doing is lining my lips, and I think I smudge them together too much usually. So what I'm trying to do now is just only line the edge and then use a lip gloss to just gloss up the rest. Now you can also use, like I said, a lip color. So this is like a lip stain and a lipstick. You can use them in the middle, and I have been loving that and reaching for that a lot. But I think my most reach for probably just has to be a plain gloss. This is the NARS XXX gloss. It's just a clear gloss. And as you can see, I've been loving it because the tube is a mixture of all the products I've used it on top of. I just use that to blend the liner out without blending it out too much. And then just use my foundation brush just to clean up the edges if I need to. And that has been my go-to lip. To finish it off, I'm using this Mecca Max Off Duty Stick, and it just gives you the most beautiful glow without it being shimmery. I don't know if you can quite see that on my cheek. There you go. It's just been so good. I love using it on my eyes as well, and like the inner corner of my eyes. The only thing with this is it does make your eyeshadow move. So if you do have eyeshadow and you have lots of creases in your eyes, then it will pull sort of in the creases. I do have quite big eyelids, so it's okay for me, but I do find that in my crease it will pull. That's okay for me. I will just blend it out because I do love the look of it, but that is one of the downsides of it that I have discovered. Otherwise, the reason I reach for it is because I just love the natural glow that it gives me, because I find that a lot of highlighters sort of just look very ashy on my dark skin here. So that has been my go-to there. And obviously, last but not least is setting spray. These have been my two most reached for. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and this is the Home Beauty Golden Hour Glow Setting Spray. I found that this one really held my blush well, because I find that blush is one of those things that just disappears on me throughout the day, but it doesn't give me that shimmery glow that sometimes I'm looking for, and this one does do that. The only thing with this is as it's running low, this does tend to splutter out at you as it's running out, but when it's not running out, it's amazing. And it just gives you that beautiful glow. That is basically my makeup done, and I've been loving this look. Clearly, as I've used all of my most reach for makeup products. I'm just gonna add a little bit more blush on here, just to sort of complete the look. Now, I've been really struggling with my hair this year. I feel like the shampoo and conditioner that I was using just didn't really do much for my hair, and I think it just sort of dried out my hair a bit. And I went back to using something that I started using earlier in the year, which is also in my empties box. It is these. This is the Avène Be Curly Advanced. I just hit myself in the cheek with it. I really enjoyed these. I started using them when I moved into this house, and then I swapped to something else which I was just trying to finish the bottles of because they were almost over, and I just don't think I enjoyed it as much. So I went back to using these. The reason I went with Be Curly was because I actually think that I have wavy hair. I had ringlets as a kid. My brother has really curly hair still, and these little bits here, when they're wet, they just end up in ringlets, which is why I wanted to try a curly shampoo, because I want to see if I could bring back some of the wave in my hair. But what I've realized, I think, is my hair is way too thick, and as I'm growing it out longer, it's obviously weighing down my hair a lot. And honestly, I don't have the knowledge or the effort to do the full curly girl routine. One day I would love to, but right now I've sort of reverted back to just taming the frizz, bringing back hydration to my hair, and just focusing on that for now. But I did really enjoy these, so I will be coming back to these soon, and I do like Avène products. So yeah, that was definitely my most reach for shampoo and conditioner. This is also something that my hair absolutely loved. This is the Wella Professionals Color Motion Structure Mask, and it is the Wellaplex bonding agent in this, and it just smells so good. It is completely over. I've basically cleaned the tub with how much of product I've taken out of this. I got this at my hairdresser's because I did their Wellaplex package, because my hair felt so dry when I went to the hairdresser's, and I think it was because of the other shampoo and conditioner that I was using, not the Avène one, but the other one. So this really helped bring some of the moisture back into my hair. So I've been loving that, and it's completely over. I need to go and purchase a new one of them. I've also discovered 2 other brands of products that I've really liked, but I've only really discovered them probably one of them was literally the last 2 weeks of December, and the other one was actually literally yesterday when I washed my hair. So those 2 will be coming in another video because I want to test out those products and try those products a bit more. But my hair, yeah, wasn't really a great hair year in 2024, but I did discover some absolute favorites like these. But my hair is feeling so much nicer, and it's only the second week of 2025, so feeling much better about hair this year. However, when it comes to hair styling, these are an absolute game changer. When my hair felt really dry and I needed to dry it, this has been really good because I was able to dry my hair while it was still wet, and I believe it uses less extreme heat than a straightener would, or blow drying and straightening, and this just cut my time down in half. Honestly, it took me 10 to 15 minutes to actually dry my hair and have it all straight and feeling really smooth with this. If you don't know what this is, by the way, this is the Dyson Air Straight. I did a collaboration with Dyson for this Air Straight, and I was shocked. You can go back and watch those videos of me trying it for the first time, but yeah, genuinely shocked with this. My only downside of this is that I can't curl my hair with it as well. I would love to, and I'm still trying to work out how to do the bouncy blowouts by curling the ends. I think it kind of does it, but doesn't do it as well as a round brush does. This is the Mermaid Thermal hairbrush, which I discovered in December. I've also been reaching for that a lot, but this is my 2024 hairstyling product. Now, you can style your hair wet or dry with this, which I also really liked. I did find that when I used it the first time, I absolutely loved it. My hair felt really smooth, but then the more I used it, the less smooth my hair sort of felt, and that's probably just an overuse of heat. So in the last couple of months, I've been trying not to use a lot of heat in my hair, but this just makes it so quick and easy. Why would you not reach for something that is just so easy to do your hair and you can just pretty much run out the door? That's probably my only downside of this. My best friend has also purchased one of these because she saw how easy it was to use, and she did borrow mine and give it a try. So yeah, definitely a great product. I do prefer this over the Dyson Airwrap and the hairdryer just because of my type of hair. This is something I reach for more often. I also cut down my hair wash. I have really thick hair and it's now getting relatively long, and I used to have to schedule my hair wash days in because it would take a whole day for my hair to air dry. Then I could style it afterwards, otherwise it just felt really frizzy, and if I was to blow dry it with a blow dryer, it just feels like it expands when I do that. versus with this I feel like it's smoothed and dried my hair at the same time, which is why I really loved it. I'm gonna use it on the dry setting because my hair is dry at the moment. I washed it yesterday, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and then I'll be back because it is loud for the audio. Okay, I've just done one side of my hair and you can see that this side sort of has those kinks in it from where I've had it braided, versus this side is a lot smoother, and this is just on the dry setting, only on hot. And I think that's why I really loved it, because it was just so quick and easy to do touch-ups for my hair. Because I love to have it braided during the day and during the night, it just means that my hair does get these little kinks. So product that can just smooth out your hair that quickly is just so good. I did also use it to dry my hair yesterday, so I think that also really helps that it's already had it, so I don't really have to use too much heat. I only use it when I need to, which is not super often that I need to have super straight hair, but I just love it. It makes me feel really sleek and put together, and when you want to do one of those looks that is super sleek, I feel like it is amazing. Alright, I'm going to do the other side of my hair and then I'll be back. Alright, that is hair done. Now, one of the other things that I have been reaching for in 2024 is a scrunchie. I feel like I've been doing that since 2023, but a half up, half down with a scrunchie has just been my favorite, and I've been doing it in a particular way where I scoop the hair with my thumb from the top of my ear going upwards rather than out like this, which is what I used to do, and I just feel like it frames my face so much nicer. That was actually a tip that Ryan had given me, and I've had hair artists do it on me before as well, but Ryan likes to claim that it was his tip for me. This has been my go-to hairstyle of 2024, and it's definitely carrying in with me to 2025. It's pretty much it there. I have been adding a bow recently, but I'm not going to do that one today. I've also been reaching for this. This is the Got To Be Farewell Flyaways, and I just use it to smooth down all of those little flyaways that I get. You can also use brow gel, but this one just lives on my vanity. Now, the downside of this that I don't like is that it does cling onto some hairs, and then as I pull the brush up, it will pull the hair out of like where it's sitting. So then I've got to pin it down with a bobby pin, and so that does get a bit annoying. But other than that, I have been enjoying it. Just grabbed a couple of bobby pins to just pin down these bits here at the back, because I can never smooth my hair down whilst also having a middle part. Alright, that is pretty much it for my get ready with me. I hope you really enjoyed this video and learned a bit about my favourite products and my most used products of 2024. I do also just want to make a quick mention to Francesca Jewellery, which is where my necklace and my earrings are from. That's pretty much all I've been wearing in 2024 consistently every day, and then I'll accessorize with other brands and other pieces. And the second brand that I wanted to mention is Concentré, because they have to be my most worn brand of 2024. I love the pieces, they're so chic, I love the colors, I love the cuts, and they are size inclusive. They're actually adding a size Australian 24 to their range in 2025, which is really exciting because I love brands that will continually work on what they can offer and the sizing that they can offer, and Concentré sizing is already quite generous, so I think that is amazing. I love their pieces. This top is actually by Concentré. I got it at their warehouse sale because, like I said, I'm obsessed. So when I heard they were having a warehouse sale, I had to go, and I found some pieces that I hadn't really seen before, so they must have been from last year's collections. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed. Thank you again so much for 100,000 subscribers. We are almost at 150k, which is kind of insane. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe down below. I will be showing you guys my plaque when it arrives. I'm so excited. I am now going to clean up the mess that I have made in front of me and get ready for my photo shoot later on. As always, don't forget to subscribe and follow me over on Instagram and TikTok as well, because we post a lot more content over there, which you probably won't see here on YouTube. All the links will be down below. If you didn't know, my partner Ryan and I also have a joint account. We've got one on Instagram and TikTok where we post couple videos. They're sort of comedy videos and just funny, relatable stuff. So if you'd like to follow us, all the links to our socials will be down below. I hope you've had an amazing start to your 2025. And I will see you again next week. Bye!